The movie begins by showing Javier. He has a big house and a nice car which makes him look rich. But he has not had a job for a long time. Because of this, his house is now in very bad shape. Javier went to many job interviews, but he did not get selected anywhere. One day when he came home feeling sad, his wife gave him advice. She told him to sell the expensive house and car. Javier did not want to do this, but he finally agreed. He also fired the maid who worked in the house. Because he lost his job, he was very upset. The maid threw the keys at him and left. Now Javier was living in a small apartment. He joined a short course to improve his skills and get more chances for a job. He kept giving interviews. After many failures, he finally got a job. He was very happy. But he found out that he had to work for free for 6 months. It was an unpaid job to gain experience. This made Javier very sad. He refused the job and walked away. On the way, he found the same car key the maid had thrown. He picked up the key and went to his old house. He stood outside for a long time. When he saw that the new people living there had gone out, he quietly went inside. Inside, he saw the new owner's photo and looked at the beautiful view he always loved. Staying there made him feel better. Then he went back. The next day he came again and looked around the house. He found many papers and a red card. This card was from a rehab center. To know why the owner went there, Javier turned on the computer. He found a lot of info about the owner. Like, a year ago the family had an accident because the owner was drunk while driving. That's why his driving license was also taken away for a year. Javier also found the owner's full daily plan. He found out that the owner was going to the rehab center at 3 p.m. the next day. The next day Javier also reached the rehab center. It is a place where people go to stop drinking. The owner was also there. When people saw Javier for the first time, they asked him questions. So Javier made up a story. He said that he drinks a lot. Because of that, his wife and daughter left him. His story was very close to the new owner's story. That's why the owner started noticing Javier. This was part of Javier's plan. Soon they became good friends. We find out the owner's name is Thomas. The next day Javier goes back to Thomas's house. He turns on his computer and changes the schedule. Since the plan was linked to Thomas's phone, it changed there too. Now, when Thomas went to pick up his daughter from school, he got late. His wife and daughter were upset with him. Thomas was trying hard to fix his family. The next day he went to the rehab class again and met Javier there. After the group talk, they sat in a coffee shop. Thomas told Javier many things about his family and showed him pictures. He asked Javier to show pictures of his family too. Javier said that he did not have them right now but would show them the next day. Their friendship becomes so strong that Thomas invites Javier to his house. Javier feels very happy. It seems like his plan is now complete. The next day he reaches Thomas's house with a flower bouquet. This is the same house where Javier used to live. At the door he meets the old gardener. The gardener asks him who he has come to meet. Javier does not want anyone to know that he is meeting Thomas. So he says that some of his old letters are still coming here. He says he just came to collect them. Then he goes inside the house. Thomas welcomes him warmly. Thomas still does not know that this house used to belong to Javier. Javier talks a lot with them. He eats dinner with them and then leaves. The next day when Thomas is going to work, the gardener asks him if the old owner came yesterday to pick something up. Thomas says no. Nothing like that happened. The gardener says sorry and walks away. But he now feels that Javier is hiding something. The next day Javier crashes his car on purpose. He quickly calls Thomas for help. At this time Javier is holding a bottle of alcohol. Thomas thinks that Javier had an accident because he was drunk. When Thomas takes the bottle from him, some drops fall on Thomas too. Thomas tries to explain to him. He says if you are still drinking even after joining rehab, then this is not right. You cannot become free from addiction like this. Javier says that his wife and daughter support him. But he could not control his pain. So he drank. Thomas replies that things are not as simple as they look. He says he has also worked hard to keep his life balanced. He also says that the company where he is the vice president does not belong to him. It belongs to his father-in-law. Hearing all this, Javier says okay. He asks Thomas to give his phone for a while. He says his phone is dead and he needs to call a towing truck. Thomas gives him the phone. But before calling, Javier sends a message to himself. Why he does this will be known later. He also makes Thomas promise that he will not tell anything to his wife. He says he doesn't know what she will think about him. Thomas agrees. But when he reaches home, his wife smells alcohol on his clothes. She gets very angry. She thinks Thomas has started drinking again. This had caused big problems in their family in the past. Now Thomas has to tell her that he did not drink. He says Javier was the one who drank and he was just helping him. The wife gets angry and says she wants to talk to Javier. At that time, Javier gets a call from the gardener. The gardener says that he knows Javier came to the house to meet Thomas. He says Javier did not come to collect any letters. He tells Javier to come meet him the next day if he wants to keep this a secret. Javier has no choice and goes to meet the gardener. The gardener says he feels Javier is not thinking good things about Thomas. He tells Javier that if he wants him to stay quiet, then he must do a job for him. He tells Javier to bring clothes of Thomas's daughter. When Javier hears this, he gets very angry. He thinks this man is very low. But to protect his plan, he agrees. So Javier goes to Thomas's house when no one is at home. Before Javier could finish his task, Thomas's wife returned home. Javier became very scared. The strange thing is, Thomas's wife was about to call him at that moment. She wanted to say something to him. As soon as she called, Javier's phone rang. She heard Javier's voice. But then she thought maybe it was just her imagination. She did her work and left. In this way, Javier was safe. After some time, it is shown that Javier and Thomas's wife meet at a restaurant. There, Thomas's wife tells him that she does not want him to meet Thomas anymore. She says she does not want them to get into big trouble again. She says a terrible accident happened before because of Thomas's drinking habit. She says they were lucky to survive. But she does not want Thomas to start drinking again because of being around him. Here Javier plays another trick. He tells her that he did not drink. He says Thomas drank by himself. Then he shows her a message from Thomas's phone that said, "Come quickly, I am in trouble." This is actually the same message that Javier sent to himself using Thomas's phone. This was all part of his plan. Now, at home, a big fight happens between Thomas and his wife because of this confusion. On the other side, a parcel comes to Javier's house. It has pepper spray and peanut liquid inside. Javier cleverly puts the peanut liquid inside the pepper spray and throws the rest of the things away. He does not know that his wife is watching him while he is doing all this. Now he wants to take the spray to Thomas's wife. But he thinks his wife is following him. So, he goes to his course center. When his wife sees him sitting in the class, she feels relaxed and leaves. After that, Javier goes to meet the gardener. He gives him the clothes of Thomas's daughter. But now the gardener wants more. He tells Javier to put a camera in Thomas's daughter's room. Javier understands this is now dangerous. So he hits the gardener smartly in a way that everyone thinks it was an accident. That way nobody suspects Javier. Then he goes to Thomas's office. He wants to meet Thomas. But Thomas is very angry because Javier lied to his wife the day before. Because of this misunderstanding, a serious fight happens between Thomas and Javier. In anger, Thomas hits Javier so badly that blood comes out of his nose and mouth. Even in this condition, Javier does not go to the hospital. Instead, he goes straight to Thomas's wife and says, "Look what your husband did to me." He also lies that Thomas saw them at the restaurant and now thinks something wrong is going on between them. Javier tells her, "I think Thomas's drinking habit is getting worse." He says, "If he gets angry while drunk, he might hurt you." He gives her the pepper spray and says, "Keep this for safety." This is the same spray in which he had already mixed the peanut liquid. After this day, Javier goes home and tells his wife that he has some important work and he is leaving the city for a few days. His wife kept asking him where he was going. But he left in a hurry. After that, he called Thomas's wife and said that he knows she and her daughter really like gymnastics. He told her that he can introduce them to a famous athlete. Hearing this, Thomas's wife became very happy and agreed to go with Thomas. They took a picture with the gymnast as if they were a happy family. Javier then sent this photo to Thomas on purpose. When Thomas saw the photo, he felt broken. Sadness took over him and after many months he drank again. This was exactly what Javier wanted. He wanted Thomas's wife to believe that her husband was still drinking. Through this trick, Javier made Thomas drink again and made his wife believe that he had never really changed. He just fooled her. But before Thomas's wife could decide anything, Thomas got very angry because he had seen her and Javier together. He came to hurt his wife. Thomas's wife had no other way to protect herself. She remembered the pepper spray that Javier had given her. She quickly took it out of the drawer and sprayed it on Thomas. Since the spray had peanut liquid inside, Thomas had an allergy and started to struggle with his breathing. His wife thought he had died. She got scared and quickly called Javier and told him to come home. Javier first calmed her down and sent her to a room. Then he went to Thomas and saw that he was still alive but in pain. Javier did not want him to survive. So he covered Thomas's mouth with his hand and killed him. He had already worn gloves. This means he came with a plan to kill Thomas. In the end, Thomas died. The scene ends here. A few months later, it is shown that Javier has now taken the position of vice president in the same company where Thomas used to work. He got this position by marrying Thomas's wife. By killing Thomas, Javier took his place, his home, and his family. He set his life completely. Then we see Javier going to meet his ex-wife. She says that she knows he killed Thomas. She says that she saw him mixing the peanut liquid into the pepper spray. She tells him that she can still go to the police and tell everything. But Javier is not scared. He says, do what you want. If you want your son to have a good future, then stay silent. Otherwise, I will stop giving you money. If you still want to do something, then go ahead. I'm not afraid anymore. I have lots of money. I will hire a big lawyer and win this case. You will get nothing. After this, his ex-wife leaves. Javier then returns to his old house. This was the house he sold earlier, but now it belongs to him again. There he lives with Thomas's wife and daughter. Now they are his wife and daughter. Javier is happy with both of them. His life is now fully settled. And this is how the movie ends. If you liked the story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. See you in the next video.